Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live reaction from today's Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. I'm coming to you live from my backyard in Memphis, Tennessee, which was supposed to be the site of today's birthday bash at AutoZone Park. And as we all know, that was postponed. So today we took a look back at our very first episode that ever aired for Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. I'll give you guys just a minute to come in. Thank you all for joining us today for the live chat, whether you watched on CW30 or you watched on YouTube. I'll give you a second to come in and we can answer questions, talk professional wrestling, talk about what's going to happen next week on Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. Who all's in here with us today? Let's see. Lots of action going on Twitter today. We saw some AEW stars on the program today. You just have to imagine how excited myself and Maria were when our very first show featured Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler, Royce Isaacs, the Reno Scum, which you can see on Impact Wrestling. All these guys have gone on to get national and worldwide television exposure, but it all started at Championship Wrestling. Let's see who we have here. You guys send me a message, make sure that I can see your comments. Looking in the chat here. I want to go live chat, that way I see everybody, right? Absolutely. Mr. E-Face, happy birthday to your whole crew. Thank you. We actually premiered on April 6th, 2019. That was WrestleMania weekend. So we celebrated our birthday, and I actually ate some cake just a couple of weeks ago. You can check that out. And so today, since it's April 25th, it was the date of our big birthday bash in downtown Memphis at AutoZone Park, where we were going to film 3 blockbuster special episodes to bring you guys. And then of course with the pandemic, the event is not canceled, but it has been postponed, and as soon as the world reopens, we're going to have that event for you, and it'll air right here on YouTube Premiere and also on CW30 Memphis. Greg says, so happy I discovered the Wrestling Federation. It's been so much fun. Oh my God, I love it. Thank you so much. Man, we appreciate it. I love hearing that. I got a tweet just a second ago that it was a guy's birthday, believe it or not, and he just found out about us. So it's been a year and a month, and people are still just now finding out about us. That's just the world that we live in at this point, because there are so many different options. You could watch TV and wrestling on Fight, which you can watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You can watch on YouTube Premiere. You can watch on television. You have DVRs. You have all these different ways that you can watch professional wrestling. So we're glad that you guys chose us. Hello there, how are you? From Germany, I bet, right? Is it Lamb? Am I saying that right? Let me know if I'm mispronouncing it. Mr. E, I can totally see you. So today's birthday bash, I posted on Twitter earlier today some brand new turnbuckle pads, these big blue turnbuckle pads that we were going to feature a logo on those turnbuckle pads. I didn't reveal whose logo would be on there, but those are still going to be used. So we're just trying to share some kind of behind-the-scenes stuff about the birthday bash, and just answer any questions that you have. And that's why some of the superstars that you saw today were featured on Championship Wrestling. When we looked back at episode 1, it was because a lot of those guys were going to be here in Memphis, Tennessee. They were supposed to fly out on Friday and arrive in Memphis, and then we were all headed to Kooky Canuck, where D-Man Dan Parker was going to take on the Cucamonga Challenge, which is this big, like 7-pound hamburger, and if you finish it within an hour, not only do you get it free, but you get to autograph the plate and put it on the wall at Kooky Canuck. And D-Man Dan Parker, that burger's bigger than him. I don't think he stood a chance, but that was going to happen on Friday night. It was going to be filmed for television, a big special. And then also, of course, on Saturday, it was going to be a 3-part blockbuster featuring myself versus Ray Rosas. And if you don't know why we have so much animosity towards Ray Rosas, you're going to find out next week right here on Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle, because we're going to look back at the 2019 Red Carpet Rumble. And not only did myself and my Maria make our in-ring debut, not only was the Heritage Championship on the line for the first time ever when Andy Brown had to defend against 29 other guys, but you never know who might show up. And also, myself and Maria, we're going to pop in from time to time. We've got a wrestling match going on right behind the camera. But we're going to pop in from time to time and give some insight on what was going on in the ring. All right, Lamb. I was just making sure I was saying your name right. Hello from Germany. We appreciate you every week. Mr. E, longtime fan of the show. Same birthday you guys have. Awesome. Very, very cool. Well, if you guys have any questions, man, put them in there. Put the questions in there. We had Peter Avalon in the opening match, the first ever match against Caleb Perez. Peter Avalon is scheduled to be at the Birthday Bash whenever it is rescheduled. So AEW star Peter Avalon, he will be in Memphis, and I know that he's really looking forward to it. Also from AEW, Marco Stunt. He's going to be with us at the Birthday Bash, and like I said, that was supposed to be today. Looks like we have some great weather. Would have been awesome to be downtown at the ballpark taping championship wrestling from Memphis, so to speak. The Birthday Bash. So Peter Avalon was victorious there. Nico Marquez was in Peter Avalon's corner. Of course, he made it official. Dustin Starr versus Ray Rosas. Like I said, you'll see how that all went down next week on the program. I've got one of these waiting on Ray Rosas, that's for sure. And he could feel free to put his PP3 Cup or his Arizona State Championship on the line, because either way it goes, I'm going to beat him down in Memphis, that's for sure. Especially after what he did to my Maria. Also, we had the Reno Scum from Impact Wrestling back on the show. Burger is bigger than him. Oh my gosh, that's funny. It is true. That burger is literally 7 pounds. Look it up. KookyCanuck.com. Kooky Canuck.com. Lamb didn't even know that something was planned on Friday before the Birthday Bash. That sounds fantastic for the fans who will visit the Birthday Bash when it happens. Yes, so that was another part of the Birthday Bash that hadn't quite been released. Just to give you a little bit of insider news here, the event was created, the graphics were created, commercials were created that you guys never even saw because the Birthday Bash had to be postponed, which was totally beyond our control. So there was a lot of work, a lot of video editing, a lot of promos and everything that you guys never had a chance to see just because it was postponed as we were launching. But yeah, that's a special that's going to happen at Kooky Canuck. And then also we had an after party planned at Tin Roof Memphis, which is the hottest live music, gosh, I don't even know what to call it. It's not a club, not a bar, but a live entertainment facility right next door to FedEx Forum. And so shout out to all of our partners, whether it's Pro Shingle, Dave & Buster's, the Tub Pros, Be Free CBD. I don't have a list in front of me. I'm just spouting these off. Just love all of those businesses. Tops Barbecue, and they're all going to stay with us for when this Birthday Bash takes place. Greg, you know I'm going to beat Ray Rosas. Nobody puts their hands on my Maria. Nobody. Kurt says, been watching you since episode 22. My go-to Saturday morning. I love it. Thanks, man. We really appreciate that. Episode 22. Gosh, have you watched every single week since episode 22? There's been a lot of great wrestling that's happened within that time frame. And then also, we're going to have a lot of those matches that we're going to see. And myself and my Maria and others, we're going to provide some commentary and some insight on those as well. But yeah, we're 56 episodes in now, and you started at 22. That's awesome. Right in the middle. Anthony Idol, got to see this burger. All right, so Idol, I would think that you would have a better shot at squashing that burger than Dan Parker. And that's no disrespect to Dan Parker, but Dan better not eat for like 5 days before he shows up to Kooky Canuck if he's going to take down that Cucamonga burger. We love Kooky Canuck, by the way. I would, but the burger for you, Anthony, just to see someone eat it. I would, but that burger for you. I would buy that burger for you. I got you. Well, I think Anthony Ida would finish it so he wouldn't have to buy it at all. So anyways, Reno Scum, they were in tag team action this week. Last week, we had a bloody steel cage match featuring Reno Scum. Now, myself and Adam Thornstowe go way back to 2009, where I met him at a WWE tryout camp. And the funny thing is, through that tryout camp, Jinder Mahal actually won the contract. Shortly thereafter, I was signed to a WWE developmental contract and reported, I believe, in March. It was St. Patrick's Day or the day after that I reported to Tampa, Florida. And then during my time in Tampa, I would see Adam Thornstowe would come by the arena and stuff and catch up and say hello. So we've actually been friends for quite a while, and super stoked and super proud to see anything that those guys do that's successful. Impact Wrestling, tag team champions with Championship Wrestling. So you can only imagine 1 year ago when on our very first program, one of my buddies was going to be featured on the program. So I absolutely love that. Good inside story there. Lamb 2009. Okay, wow. Jinder Mahal was promoted to SmackDown only 2 years later. Yes. And that wasn't when he really caught fire either. As you know, Jinder went on to become the WWE champion as well. Mr. E, yes, I worked with Jinder. Jinder and I were friends. We traveled to the events together. Sometimes we would work out together. I remember going to Jinder Mahal's apartment in Tampa, Florida, and he had no furniture. He had this big mound of clothes in the middle of his living room floor. It just shows you, those guys literally, and I did too, they put it all on the line and sacrificed everything. And you know, he left where he was from. I believe he was living in Canada. Picked up and moved, didn't have anything to his name. Now look at him today. Anthony says 4-pound burger. I think it's a 7-pound Cucamonga burger. And that's not counting the fries and all the side stuff either. Been watching Championship Wrestling from Hollywood when they filmed in Hollywood, then Glendale, and now Ventura. Great fun. Yeah, Kurt. So you have Championship Wrestling from Hollywood that is out in Port Hueneme. Did I say that right? At the Ocean View Pavilion. And then you have at the Nile Theater in Arizona, might be Glendale, I'm not sure, it's Championship Wrestling from Arizona. And then, of course, here at Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle in Memphis, we syndicate the Hollywood show, but myself and Maria, we host it and then also bring you some exclusive local content that you would never see before. Now, the goal, just like David Marquez and I discussed on the Championship Wrestling podcast presented by Be Free CBD, the goal is to be Championship Wrestling from Memphis. The only thing is you've got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. And gosh, here we are. The birthday bash was supposed to be today, and that was going to be our very first glimpse at Championship Wrestling from Memphis, a 3-week blockbuster for our birthday bash. And it's going to happen. It just wasn't able to happen today. Hi, Kane. Good to see you, too. We are doing well as we can. We have been filming television here in our home studio. Fortunately, we do have a studio in the house. As you can see, the program still looks professional as ever. We're excited. We recorded a couple of episodes. We're also on television in Amarillo, Texas, home of the Funks. So you can check out Championship Wrestling presented by Amarillo Venom every Saturday night at 11 p.m. on News Channel 10-2 and also on the United Wrestling Network's YouTube page. So lots going on. Mr. E says, I want to be there when it happens. We want everybody to be there when it happens. Here's the funny thing. It's not really funny. It just shows how big this event can be, is that from all of our sponsors and every ticket that was pre-sold for the event, we haven't had one single person ask for their money back or ask for a refund. And that says a lot, especially in a pandemic. And I'm not saying that people won't, depending on how long this thing stretches out, but it just shows that people want to see Championship Wrestling, and they want to see a big production and a big event, and that's exactly what we're going to give them at AutoZone Park coming up very soon. So shout out to all the fans and shout out to all the sponsors for sticking by us this whole time. Anthony Idol, 6 pounds of burger, 1 hour time limit. If I wrestle at Birthday Bash first, I think I have a shot. We might have to make that happen. What if we had Anthony Idol versus D-Man Dan Parker one-on-one at the Cucamonga Challenge? My money all day long is on you, Anthony Idol, that's for sure. And like I say, no disrespect to D-Man, but gosh, I couldn't take down that burger, man. And I like to say that I like to body slam burgers. Let's see, Destiny. Port Wainimi. Didn't that what I said? Port Wainimi? Or did I say Hunimi? Port Wainimi. And also be on the lookout, because once all this at-home stuff is lifted, I don't know that I'm going to be able to stay put here in Memphis, Tennessee. You might see your boy out in Hollywood. That's for sure. Especially so I can get my hands on that dang Ray Rosas. Hello from Denmark. Wow, man. Thank you for joining us for the live chat. I hope you had fun. Scandinavia in the house. Wow. Incredible. Mr. E, you should be proud. You all do great work with production qualities. Well, we appreciate that, man. We're doing our very best. And also, that's the quality of the United Wrestling Network and David Marquez. Shout out to everybody. Evan, our editor, does a great job every single week. Man, CW30 has been a big help, being able to film in studio. They always have our back. They're actually a partner in the Birthday Bash as well. We actually shot some brand new Dr. Phil commercials this week. Dr. Phil's coming back to CW30. I don't know if you guys know who Dr. Phil is, but here in Memphis, man, he went off the air and people begged for him to come back. Dan Masters in the house. When will we see more of the Barbecue Boys on the program? The one guy continues to tell people he's greater than great, and who is the boss of those two? Yeah, so, okay, you saw a little glimpse of Grind City Wrestling Night at FedEx Forum with the Memphis Grizzlies today. We showed Dave Brown, Jerry Lawler. He brought in Rikishi as his tag team partner to go against the Steiner brothers. Of course, Buff Bagwell was there, and I'm fortunate enough to host it all. And the Texas Barbecue Boys were actually born and created by the Memphis Grizzlies. So when a Texas team would come in, the Texas Barbecue Boys would be there. And of course, they would badmouth all the Memphis barbecue and say that Texas is better. But that's actually Derek King and Alan Steele, Bob and Billy from the Texas Barbecue Boys. And they tease bringing the boss in. And I'm not exactly sure who the boss is, but we're going to find out at the Birthday Bash when it happens. But those were some of the funniest promos that I ever shot and edited. Two guys that I've known in the business longer than anybody. Two guys that absolutely deserve to be on Memphis television each and every week. And when Championship Wrestling from Memphis actually happens, and when the Birthday Bash happens, you will see that. So I'm glad I'm not the only one that loves the Barbecue Boys. Shout out to Dan Masters. Thanks, brother. Lamb, it says a lot. The Memphis people want to see Memphis wrestling rise big time. This is fantastic. Yes. So Memphis fans enjoy the Championship Wrestling that we're bringing you. They enjoy it. One of the most frequently asked questions is, how can I watch? And I'll tell them to watch on television, and they'll say, no. How do we show up and watch live? And so it's like, all right, well, you got to get a ticket to fly out to... No, I'm just kidding. But that's what people want, man. They want to show up like they used to do at Channel 5, and that's where I started. Showing up at Channel 5, setting up the rings, training, being a sponge in the locker room. So people are asking every single day when they can watch it and when they can watch it live. Let's see, I'm just going through the comments here. Real Deal Viking says it was a great show. Thank you. Just wait till next week. We're going to relive the Red Carpet Rumble where 30 wrestlers enter the ring. Only one remains standing at the end. And whoever that is going to be the new Heritage Champion unless Andy Brown can successfully win and beat 29 other guys. Mr. E says, Dustin, I'm still confused on the different versions of the product. Can you clarify on any breakdown of the United Wrestling brand, please? Yes. All right, so you have the United Wrestling Network. You have Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and Championship Wrestling from Arizona, right? Those are the two feature programs. The Championship Wrestling from Hollywood is syndicated on over 100 stations across the United States, and they air that footage as is. It's just like Monday Night Raw going all over the United States, right? Now, what we do differently is myself and Maria, we host locally that syndicated program from Memphis, Tennessee, and we bring you different content that's local to Memphis. So yes, the Hollywood Wrestling right now is the same as the Memphis that you see on our show, except there are different hosts, and the other programs are not, they don't have the, like, for instance, the Grind City Wrestling or the Texas Barbecue Boys and stuff like that. So our program, especially now that we're in the pandemic and we're looking back, our program is different than any other program across the United States now. I hope that clarifies. So we are basically a syndicated program where myself and Maria host that's eventually going to evolve into where we film that stuff right here. Now, when we do film here, you'll see some of those guys on our show, but then also you'll see a brand new roster. Let me know if that helps you, Mr. E. I love those questions. Dan Masters Live says, division aside, Derek King should be on the United program no matter who's with or part of. Forever one of the most entertaining men I've ever worked with. He did not pay me to say that. Derek King is one of my best friends in the entire world. And if it weren't for Derek King, then there would not be a Dustin Starr. And if there was a Dustin Starr, it wouldn't be the one that you're seeing here today. Give you a little behind the scenes. Derek King took me under his wing early on in Power Pro Wrestling in about the year 2000. He took me to Ohio Valley Wrestling for WWE Developmental. Literally, Derek King taught me so much. Great guy, and I agree with you. He deserves to be on television anywhere that there is, but you have to remember. Hey, Rhea, you have to remember budgetary reasons. You can't just fly a bunch of guys out to Hollywood to shoot some television, so that's part of it is the budget. And so you've seen Derek King on the program. He's been on commercials. He's been featured on some of the spot shows that we've done around here in Memphis. And then also you saw the big hype coming for the birthday bash where he's going to be a part of the Texas Barbecue Boys. But I agree with you. Totally. Let's see. That was, all right, Mr. E. When I tell my wrestling friends about your product, I want to understand. So if they ask, just to be clear for myself. Yes, so just to wrap that up, Mr. E, our show cannot be seen anywhere else except for CW30 Memphis and Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle at CW30 Wrestling YouTube. All the other programs, we are different than all the other ones, which is good because now you get to watch a different version of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Sunday instead of seeing the same thing with different hosts. So there's even more content for you guys to watch. Destiny says, true, the creative way you all are presenting the show during this time has been so much fun and entertaining. Good work to everyone. Keep it up. Plus, extra time live with you is unreal and special. Thanks, Destiny. I appreciate that. If you guys like this, we'll do it every single Saturday that we're available to do it, especially right now when there's not any other bookings, because on a typical Saturday, myself and Maria, we would be hosting a Memphis Redbirds game or possibly a Memphis Grizzlies playoff game or, gosh, you name it. Also, next week, I know I've already said this, but for those of you who are tuning in, we have the Red Carpet Rumble that we're going to take a look at. But we're going to include some special cut-ins where myself and Maria will cut in and give a little bit of information or tell a little behind-the-scenes story. Not for too long. We don't want to disrupt the pace of the show, but we do want to pop in and give you some brand new content while you're watching the Red Carpet Rumble. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun next week on the show. And we appreciate all the support, Destiny. Thank you so much. Anthony Ido, I get goosebumps thinking about wrestling in Memphis. I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, probably Twitter too, there are always these comments comparing Anthony Idol to Austin Idol, and Austin Idol actually responded to it and put like the stamp of approval on Anthony Idol. And I won't lie, Anthony Idol, the first time we saw you on the program, I was like, wow, look at this guy's outfit. Look at this dude. Now you're one of our favorite characters, man. Very, very cool. Mr. E, I've been to Memphis a few times and loved it. Mr. E, where are you from? You definitely got to make the trip to Memphis for the birthday bash. That's for sure, man. Willie, great show. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Willie. Next week's show, I think, is going to be even better than this week's show. Although this week's show is close to my heart because it was the first time that... You got to imagine, man. Me and Maria sitting at the desk for the first time ever. Me growing up being a big Memphis Wrestling fan and seeing Lance and Dave each and every week calling the action. You got to know, number one, we were nervous. Number two, that's like bucket list, man. Being able to host not only your own wrestling program, but to be able to follow in the footsteps of Lance Russell and Dave Brown, man, that was an exciting time. And still is every time that we do it. Mr. E, I'm excited for all the great action coming. Man, it's going to be the very best matches. The very best matches. Destiny, every time I see the Texas Barbecue Boys, I can't tell if they're wrestlers or a real barbecue place to eat. You are in for a treat. Derek King and Alan Steele are not only hilarious and entertaining, but they're really, really good wrestlers too. You'll really like them. And there's no telling who the boss they're going to bring in is. Destiny, I didn't know at first either about the Barbecue Boys. Barbecue Boys are going to have a lot of heat because let me tell you, in Memphis, Tennessee, you don't come in and tell us that our barbecue's not the best. You better not anyway. If you do, you probably get your butt kicked, and we're going to find that out. Mr. E, yes, this is an awesome bonus to watch every week. Man, I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, behind-the-scenes questions, programming questions for the future, who else you can expect to see at the birthday bash, any of that stuff, Memphis Wrestling, life questions, put them in the comments. Love doing it. I love doing it as much as you guys do. Real Deal Viking Wrestling have a community all over the world. So great to do live things like this. Thanks, the world gets smaller and better. Well, thank you from Scandinavia. That is super cool. I'm glad that you found us. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. We've got brand new videos that drop almost every single day. We've got a brand new playlist that's called Feature Matches, and we've been updating that every single week. Some of the very best matches in the history of Championship Wrestling on our 13 months that we've been here. Also, there's a cool vlog section that takes you behind the scenes at CW30 Studios, behind the scenes at our trip to Hollywood. And those videos are like 2 to 3 minutes long, so you'll absolutely love them. We even toured inside Mid-South Coliseum, the historic building where all the big wrestling history went down in Memphis. Indiana. Oh man, are you close to Evansville? I used to wrestle in Evansville quite a bit, and that was a big Memphis wrestling loop. And that's definitely within driving distance, Mr. E. You gotta come to the birthday bash. Now that I know how close you are, geez, Anthony Ido, hopefully I can get Uncle Austin out there as well. Uncle Austin. I'm not sure who's Uncle Austin. Am I lost on that one? Willie Bowen, more power wrestlers on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood wrestlers on Power. Yes, so David Marquez, of course. He is one of the broadcasters, the interviewers on NWA Power. He is definitely going to be at the birthday bash. D-Man Dan Parker has been seen on NWA as well. You might see some other NWA guys on our program. Just have to wait and see. I'd love to see the 10 pounds of gold defended in Memphis, Tennessee. That's the NWA 10 pounds of gold. But I'm a big fan of NWA Power as well. Robert says, explain something to me. I enjoy you and your wife's work. Why is this program in Memphis, but the wrestling is in California? Well, we've syndicated that program. So basically, we're introducing you guys to the brand new characters of Memphis Wrestling. And then when the time is right, like I said, budgetary reasons, we fly those guys in and we tape television right here in Memphis, Tennessee. So it's coming, and it was supposed to come today on April 25th at AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis. But with the pandemic, everything shut down, so we had to postpone, and we are going to reschedule that date, and then you'll see the wrestling that's going to happen right there in Memphis, Tennessee, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, and it's important to reintroduce those characters because we haven't had a Memphis Wrestling television show in nearly 15 years. So who are the Memphis wrestlers and Memphis promotions that we would work with. I'll wait. We mentioned Derek King and Alan Steele. Of course, myself. We've got some other local guys that are booked. Marco Stunt will be on the show. He's a local guy, even though he's a nationally known star now. So, but that's why introducing characters and introducing a brand new program and then bringing those guys and gals here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. What do you think of the show, Robert? Are you in Memphis? Mr. E, Anthony Idol is what stopped me in my tracks when I first saw him on your show. He has more than the it factor. Anthony Idol is a megastar. I love Anthony Idol. Big fan of Anthony Idol. Again, everyone from lighting to graphics, commentary to in-ring talents, I don't see weak links in the chain. I love how we have squash matches from time to time. I love that Watts can get in there and smash somebody out just like that, and it's normal. And then also I like where we see a guy like Royce Isaacs and Brandon Cutler just absolutely tear it apart for our main event. So you've got a little bit of that old school Memphis feel, but also that brand new school high quality action that we all love. And that's what we're doing here at Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. We love the classic stuff. So that's why you'll see Jerry Lawler, Jerry Calhoun, Dave Brown, Dutch Mantell, superstar Bill Dundee. You'll see all those guys. Coco Beware, you name it. You'll see all those guys on our program in some capacity, although you might not see them in the ring because we save that in-ring action for that high quality, fast pace, kind of new school with a mixture of old school in it. We appreciate that, Mr. E. Lamb says, never knew there is a Memphis barbecue out there. Thanks to this show, I know Memphis barbecue exists. There is a world championship barbecue cooking contest every single year as part of Memphis in May. It's a festival that people from all over the world come to. So it's not just something that we made up for wrestling or anything like that. There is a world championship barbecue cook-off contest every year in Memphis. I think this year it might happen in October due to the pandemic. But yeah, that's a real thing. Just like the birthplace of rock and roll because of the king, Elvis Presley. Barbecue, man. It's a part of the fabric, just like wrestling, in the DNA of Memphis, Tennessee. Destiny, I noticed you have a great haircut. Where's the video? I believe you rumored that your Maria did it. Shh. We're going to air some footage in a couple of weeks. I didn't really get a haircut. I just kind of trimmed a little bit, but I am going to trust in the next coming weeks. I'm going to trust my Maria. The ultimate form of love and trust is letting your wife cut your hair, especially with no experience. So we're going to be bringing you that on the program. That's more of the wrestlers at home that you're going to see. But thanks for noticing, Destiny. It's been over a month since I've had one. Oh yeah, he means Austin Idol. I'm sorry. I would love to have Austin Idol here too. Funny thing is when we went to the AEW show and they did this big tribute to Memphis wrestling, Austin Idol was there, and me just marking out, went over and said hello, and of course I was surprised that he was familiar with who we are. Just one of those things. And then later I went to his Facebook page and he had posted our picture together. He posted it, which I was, for any of the wrestlers and big time wrestling fans that know what the term marking out means, I was marking out big time. That Austin Idol had posted our picture. And even Austin Idol knowing who we were is just fantastic to us. Robert, what wrestling match would you like to see? I would like to see myself and my Maria versus Cody and Brandy. Not in a mixed tag team match, but me versus Cody one-on-one, and then have our wives in the corner. And in case you missed it, there is a special sit-down interview. It's not like a wrestling promo or anything. It's a sit-down interview with myself and my Maria talking to Cody and Brandy in studio, so you can take a look at that on the YouTube channel as well. But that would be the match that I want. Other than Ray Rosas, of course. I'd love to wrestle Cody. Let's see. Anthony Idol, good thing Lamb is sharp. You lost me on that one, brother. But I know what you're talking about now, Anthony Idol. I'm in Mooresville, Indiana. Okay. Gotcha. Love Memphis style. You're not very far from us, Mr. E. Willie Bowen, Watts versus Nick Aldis for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship belt. Scorpio Sky versus Aaron Stevens for the NWA National Heavyweight title. That would be pretty cool. I will tell you that you will see Nick Aldis coming up on the program. Of course, you saw Watts today. You'll see Watts again next week on our program. And also, Scorpio Sky won his 5th United Television Championship last year and also had an unbelievable match with Andy Brown for his farewell match as he was headed off to AEW. So we're going to be showing those matches here coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. There are so many awesome matches that we can go back and look at. And so for those of you, like the gentleman earlier that said he started watching at episode 22, oh my gosh, for those of you who have not seen these matches, you're absolutely going to love it. It's new if you haven't seen it. Lots of really, really good stuff. Is that wind blowing too hard, guys? Feels like there's a windstorm coming. Destiny, can you tell me about Precious? Oh, I can tell you that Precious just loves to party. Precious has been a Memphis wrestler on television and all across the indies for quite a while. He's a guy that does extra work for WWE when they're in town. Precious, good friend of ours, great supporter of Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. A little bit over the top. I'll tell you a funny story. Precious has the gimmick that you can't just book anywhere. And I've wanted to get Precious on several different shows, but it's a little risque, if you know what I'm saying. The guy wears lingerie, women's lingerie, to the ring typically. But to me, he is absolutely hilarious and a really good wrestler too. It's funny that you ask about Precious. I'll have to text him and tell him that. Lamb says squash matches are needed sometimes to put someone over or to build up Watts. There was a big discussion online due to the Kenny Omega match versus, I believe his name was Angels. He kicked out of the V-trigger. I don't know why anybody is up in arms about something that happens in professional wrestling. Nobody expected it, right? And more people are talking about Angels and Omega than ever before because of that. So you tell me why they did it. And I agree, squash matches are very, very important, especially in the build-up to Watts. So that was the very first match, and I wouldn't call it a squash on Dan Parker, but typically he finishes these guys out in less than 60 seconds, sometimes 3-on-1. All right? So now he's the Heritage Champion. So it definitely worked, that's for sure. And the people chant, Watts, 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 every time he appears on television. Mr. E throws out a Lord Humongous. Yeah, so we have a Humongous in our wrestling league. You guys have probably seen him advertised with Hollywood Jimmy Blaylock. That's a guy that I would like to see go up against Watts. You talk about two big, huge guys, two of the biggest guys that you'll ever see on our program. What about those guys going head to head? There were so many Lord Humongouses over the years. And I think one of them gets a little upset every single time he sees a Humongous on our program or on one of the spot shows that we do. Lamb, R.I.P. Dustin's hair. No! No! No way! Let's see. Jeff Van Camp, are you coming to the Bash? Yeah, are you coming to the Bash? Mr. E says he believes it's a 6-hour drive. 6 hours is nothing, man. I mean, what I would do if it was me, especially after the pandemic, I'd get a hotel room. I'd come in on Friday. I'd do the festivities on that Friday night. I'd stay for Saturday. I'd hit up the baseball game when it happens immediately following the birthday bash. Man, I'd just make a whole weekend out of it, man. Like a mini vacation. Mr. E says, and quick matches are a great palate cleanser. You're exactly right. I totally agree with that. Anthony Idol, fun fact, Uncle Austin and I have the same birthday, October 26th. Wow. Did that play a role in your name, Anthony Idol, at all? Mine's October 22nd, by the way, so we're all very, very close. Oh, man, Anthony Idol versus Lord Humongous. Wow, yeah. That'd be a big one. All right, guys. This week, what you just watched was a look back at our very first episode We even saw what some of the wrestlers are doing while at home. We'll have more of those videos in the coming weeks as well. Monday, David Marquez joined myself on the Championship Wrestling podcast presented by Be Free CBD, where we talked about all sorts of programming. Go ahead and check that out. I think it's about a 13-minute interview. You can find that in the playlist on podcast by CBD, by Be Free CBD. Also, coming up this Monday at noon is a special interview with Zicky Dice, where I ask Zicky about what he did to Gentleman Jervis. Who doesn't love Gentleman Jervis? Let me ask you that. Zicky Dice is just, what's wrong with him to not like Gentleman Jervis? Actually, I like Gentleman Jervis so much, I purchased one of the masks. Go to merchboy.com and you can get your own Super Beetle or Gentleman Jervis mask. But I purchased a Jervis mask. I love it. I thought it would help me in the pandemic, but apparently it's not the medical grade. And of course, Blake Troop joined us a couple of weeks back. That interview is still there. There's feature matches. Share our new episode. Share it with your friends. And then next week, next Saturday at noon, right here on YouTube Premiere and on CW30 Memphis, we're going to look back at the Red Carpet Rumble. And it's absolutely probably my favorite episode, not just because I'm in the ring on it, but I love the Royal Rumble, man. When I heard this event was going down, I was like, whoa, I love it. Love it. Let's see, any more questions? Anthony Ido says he did not know that his birthday was the same day as Austin Idol until 3 years ago. That's pretty cool. Real Deal Viking, thank you for joining me on the live show. We'll definitely be here each and every Saturday. You'll get a notification on YouTube and then also all of our social media at CW30 Wrestling. When that happens, will there be a cake at the birthday bash? Of course, Lamb has to ask about cakes. So my history with cakes and history of cakes in the wrestling business isn't very good, all right? So I accidentally dropped the cake on our first episode ever, which is pretty fitting, actually, of how 2020 has gone as a year in and itself, right? And then the second week, I go to eat the cake because I messed up the first week, and Rocky the Rockin' Redbird from AutoZone Park smashes my face in it. And then on Bill Dundee's birthday, which was also my birthday, he hits me with a cake. It wasn't until just a couple of weeks ago, April 4th episode, to where I got to eat the cake. That's episode 53, where I'm chowing down on cake. And of course, I had it all over my face, and my Maria didn't tell me until the segment was over, and then refused to re-record it. So yeah, my history with cakes is not so good. But I can only imagine at a birthday bash, there's got to be a birthday cake. So I would bet that there will be one. Zicky Dice done lost his mind. I totally agree, man. Zicky Dice is out there. Outlandish, but out there. Destiny, thank you, 5-star. Love this time in your backyard. Cheers to everyone. Be safe and positive. Thank you, Destiny. Take a look. The backyard. A little bit. I just cut the grass. The dogs are out here going crazy. It's actually a pretty nice day out here. It would have been perfect for the birthday bash. It's not raining, although there's a little bit of an overcast. Our show would have, bell time would have been noon, and it would have been over by 4 o'clock filming all 3 episodes. And there was a big VIP meet and greet where you get to meet all the stars. Mil Muertes was going to be there. Where's my guy that helps me out with the pronunciation? Mil Muertes. He was going to be there. Thank you for joining me as always, Destiny. Mr. E reminds everyone to hit the like button. Yes, please hit that like button. Take the like button to Slap City. Be sure to hit subscribe while you're there. Uncle Dave, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome. No, man, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for making it possible. Anthony Idol says he prefers pie. I'm scared to ask what kind of pie. Did I just walk right into that one? Destiny, you rock. I agree. Positivity is a must. Hey, we all hate what's going on, but we can't wait to get back. Greg, who is Maria's favorite professional wrestler? Well, Maria's favorite professional wrestler is me, of course. She accompanies me to the ring. But other than me, I think her favorite is Stephanie McMahon. And if she's watching this live stream, she can come downstairs and tell me if I'm wrong. But anytime Stephanie McMahon is on a microphone, it's like, shh, shh, shh. I mean, she owns the room when she talks. Stephanie McMahon, that is. Let's see here. Greg, yes, when I saw Anthony, I was thinking of Austin. Anthony Idol and Austin Idol, yeah. And the muscle flexing, man. I love it. Did you get all tanned up, Anthony Idol? Robert, I hope the birthday bash is televised as I live in Sacramento, California. Yes, it will be a 3-week blockbuster television event, much like the Red Carpet Rumble, Milestone, PP3. It will be televised, and it'll be exclusive. I'm pretty sure it will be exclusive to the Memphis show, which is Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. But yes, you will be able to watch it. Anthony Idol says cheesecake. I like cheesecake as well. Who doesn't like cheesecake? Anthony Idol versus Mil Muertes on YouTube. Dig it. Let's see. How's that go over with your Maria, bro? How does which part? I'm trying to keep up with the conversation. There's so many in here. Anthony Idol versus Watts in Memphis would also be nice, I think. I agree with you. 100%. The Stephanie McMahon thing. No, I'm saying that Maria's favorite has to be Stephanie McMahon. And actually, the two kind of remind me of one another when Maria's on the mic and when Maria gets vicious. And when she gets vicious, she really gets vicious. So I don't think that you guys have seen that unless you go to the YouTube channel 5 Star Fan Cam. So that's FIVESTARRFANCAM. So that's a YouTube channel that's dedicated to matches with myself and my Maria in my corner, where we wrestle guys like Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, Matt Hardy, Nick Aldis, Billy Gunn. I even wrestled one of the castmates from The Walking Dead. He had his barbed wire bat and everything. Yeah, I had to stay clear of that. All sorts of great matches, though. Uncle Dave, let there be cakes, pies. Oh, my. Yeah. Birthday bash. Can't wait. Can't wait for it to happen. Today's show was a lot of fun to look back and watch, but I think next week's show is going to be even better because you're going to get a glimpse at 30 wrestlers all in one ring for the Red Carpet Rumble. I thought you would hush the room when Stephanie was on. No, Maria kind of does. She likes watching Steph, especially Steph talk. But if you see Stephanie's entrances at WrestleMania when she's introducing her husband Triple H, oh man, I like how her voice, like she's just fierce. Can't wait for some new action. Screw this Corona. That's what Derek Banks says. I agree with you 100%. But if you haven't seen the action, it's still new to you. And then also myself and Maria, we're going to be new every single week. We're going to have some fun little spots like we saw today with the wrestlers at home. Houston Body doing TikTok videos. Heather Monroe doing TikTok videos. Mr. E says Steph and Vicky Guerrero. Yes, both of them. Every now and then you might get an excuse me from Maria. There have been many, many times on 5 Star Fan Cam where we have to actually turn the microphone volume up because the crowd will boo so loudly that Maria can't even get a word out. And that's 9 times out of 10 we're heels. You know, we're the bad guys. But it seems like here at Championship Wrestling we're the good guys, which is cool. You know, but there's going to be nothing good about what I do to Ray Rosas, that's for sure. All right, guys. Got a couple of more minutes here. If there's any questions about future programming, any clarification that you need on Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle or Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, sports in general, Memphis in general, any of that stuff, type those in the comments. If not, we're going to get out of here, man. We had a fun show today. Oh, I can't wait till next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also, don't forget to tune in to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Fight TV. So you can download the Fight app absolutely free, and you can watch their program absolutely free. It's completely different than ours. That way there's a lot more wrestling content out there than just the same show. Anthony Idol got some payback for Rates. Yeah, he does. He actually did get some payback by beating him up just a couple of weeks back. Vicky came to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood through a shoe. Hey, my Maria is deadly with a shoe. I'll tell you this, one of the things that she hates doing the most, Maria that is taking her shoes off. So when I say, hey, Maria, throw me your shoe, she's like, oh, man, because she doesn't want her bare feet touching the floor. But yeah, we could swing a mean shoe, though. Derek says, any idea when you'll be taping some new action? Well, we tape new shows each and every week, but actually new professional wrestling inside the ring instead of looking back at some of the best of. Should be coming up here pretty soon. It seems like later this week, the mayor of Memphis is going to make an announcement on how to reopen our economy. I think California is all over that as well. Myself and Dave Marquez discussed that on Monday's podcast. Go back and check that out. It's really, really good stuff. He even discusses the possibility of doing matches without a crowd. Because you have to think, just like the history of Memphis wrestling, it was free to come to TV tapings. So out at Port Hueneme at Ocean View Pavilion, it's absolutely free. So we don't rely on revenue as far as ticket sales. So doing it in front of no audience would be just fine. It's just a matter of the state or the city actually letting us do it. So I think it's coming sooner than later. I don't think it's going to take as long as what people say. David Marquez is going to be all over it. But hopefully the new action is coming soon. And of course, we'll have the birthday bash as soon as we're able to get back in AutoZone Park. Greg says he agrees that Anthony Idol is one of his favorites. Teddy, when are we going to see Heather Monroe versus Lacey Ryan? So they have had 4 matches out of their best of 7 series. So you can go back and you can watch those here on the Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle YouTube channel. But as soon as tapings resume, you'll see the conclusion of that best of 7 series. And if you missed the Falls Count Anywhere match, shame on you. You've got to rewind back a couple of episodes and go check that out. It's something like we've never seen before. They fought in the audience. They fought on the stage. They had a bottle fight, a glass bottle fight, and outside, Houston Body ended up being thrown into the dumpster. Awesome match. You got to go back and check that out. But that series will be complete as soon as we go back to taping once again. Pronouns, pal. That's right. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. There's so many comments every time I scroll. Uncle Dave, it'd be nice if you would have a lot more masked luchadors on your show. We've had some masked luchadors on the show. Gentleman Jervis, he's on almost every week. Super Beetle, he's another masked wrestler that's on every week. I think Kasai from Japan, I believe he is a masked wrestler. There's quite a few masked wrestlers in Championship Wrestling. Humongous here in Memphis, he wears a mask. But I love the masked wrestlers, absolutely. Greg says that Lacey Ryan Heather Monroe match, I'm never going to forget it. Oh, man. I think it's match of the year so far. I think it is. I won't forget it either. It was so Memphis to have them fighting with bottles, too. Mr. E says that match was gold. Lamb says, poor Houston. The throw into the dumpster was shown on today's episode 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it's a highlight reel now. But just imagine Houston Body getting thrown into the dumpster, and now we're in a pandemic where there's a virus. That's funny, not funny, but I'm sure that was going through his mind after he taped that. Like, what did I just do? What did Lacey Ryan just do to me? Too funny. Super Beetle is awesome. Cage matches would be awesome to see. All right, go back, Teddy, to last week. We've got a bloody steel cage match between the Reno Scum and Rock Ness Monsters. You got to watch that one. It's not for the faint of heart, but that aired last week on the program. Also, you can go to the playlist that says feature matches, and you can see that steel cage there in its entirety. So yeah, we've had some of those. But we can't overdo it. You can't have a cage match. I think we've had one cage match in the year, which is awesome. The bloody bull rope match was something else between Bateman and Royce Isaacs. That was something else. James says, can't wait to see your blow-off match with Ray Rosas. If you fly out to Hollywood, you can bet Destiny and I will be there cheering you on in the stands. Well, if I fly out to Hollywood, it's not going to be to have a match with Ray Rosas. It's going to be to beat Ray Rosas up. That match is going to happen in Memphis, Tennessee, absolutely. And for those of you who didn't see what happened between myself, my Maria, and Ray Rosas, watch next week at the Red Carpet Rumble. That's where it all started, and it's all going to end at the birthday bash. But I don't want to give away, but my plan is to be in Hollywood sooner rather than later. But I appreciate that, James. Robert, one of my favorite tag teams is the Wolf Zaddies. Mr. E says Wolf Zaddies are badass. Wolf Zaddies are undefeated. If you're not familiar with Bad Dude Tito, he has a long, rich history in championship wrestling from Hollywood. And if you're not familiar with Che Cabrera, he was previously known as Rogelio. He was the masked wrestler with Howdy Price. And he eventually lost his mask in a mask versus championship match. And I'm sure we're going to take a look back at that match in the coming weeks. But Rogelio was our son's favorite wrestler, because he had the mask on, he has the muscles and everything. But then when he lost that, of course, Howdy kicked him to the curb, and he's back as one half of the undefeated Wolf Zaddies. And that's another storyline you got to pay attention to and remember, is that Adrian Quest and Andy Brown are the United World Tag Team Champions as members of Static. And the Wolf Zaddies just made short work of them in a in a six-man tag team match just a couple of weeks back. So, when filming resumes, one can only imagine that the Wolf Zaddies will be in line for a United World Tag Team title opportunity, and nobody's beaten them yet. So I don't see Quest and Brown doing it either. Teddy says, yes, he saw the cage match from last week. It was awesome. Robert says, how is Bateman doing? Bateman is actually signed with Ring of Honor. So like many of the stars throughout the years, they've been signed to contracts. So I know, I'm going to forget somebody I know, but this is just off the top of my head. Scorpio Sky going on to AEW. You've got Luchasaurus, was from Championship Wrestling previously. He's at AEW. Royce Isaacs with NWA. He was a tag team champion there. Johnny Quasto, Kathy Campanelli both went to WWE and NXT. Bateman signed with Ring of Honor. I also hear that Heather Monroe is going to be doing some work with Ring of Honor coming up very, very soon as well. So it's super cool to see the stars of Championship Wrestling, and I hate to say go on to bigger and better things, but our platform and our television program and you, the fans, help springboard those guys and gals to bigger and better opportunities. And like I say, I hate to say bigger and better opportunities because we're on so many stations across the United States, but Impact Wrestling signed Chris Bay. We saw Fidel. We saw Lacey Ryan. We've seen quite a few get big, big opportunities because of Championship Wrestling. But Bateman's doing great. Ring of Honor. Mr. E. Dustin, I showed my dad the Rockness versus Reno Scum last night. Great match. Thanks, man. Thank you for sharing. We were actually worried that match would be edited or censored by CW30, and it wasn't. But if you remember the bloody bull rope match, it was. Greg would root for you and Maria, no doubt about it. Well, we appreciate that, man. I hate to say revenge. Let's say payback for Ray Rosas. And next week, you'll see exactly what the payback is for. XYZ, it would be good if you could have Golden Boy Jordan Clearwater versus Golden Boy Travis Williams on Championship Wrestling. Face versus heel, Ryan Taylor and Royce Isaacs are really good too. I think Ryan Taylor is going to get some big opportunities coming up in the near future. The guy is an absolute beast. He has the size, he has the talent, he has the body. He can literally do it all. Royce Isaacs has already gone on to NWA and he's killing it out there. He's one of the featured athletes on Championship Wrestling throughout the entire year. And then Golden Boy versus Golden Boy. Hey, man, I'm here for it. But Golden Boy Jordan Clearwater, ever since he left the side of Ray Rosas, has been doing pretty good. He did good in the PP3 tournament, It looks like him and Zicky Dice got a little thing going on because Clearwater beat Zicky Dice. Zicky was mad about it, so he tried to jump Jordan Clearwater. And, that whole thing went down. So I guess we've got a rematch coming up with that. But, yeah, hey, Golden Boy versus Golden Boy. And then Lamb says, the viewers will see your drop kick next week and will be amazed. Oh, yeah! Ray Rosas is still picking my sole of my boot out of his teeth. Ryan is the complete package star in the making. I could totally see Ryan Taylor being signed to NXT and being there for 3 years or so and then debuting in WWE on the main roster and just being a big, big star. But we've gone about an hour, guys, so I'm going to get out of here. Be sure to tune in to the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by Be Free CBD. And go to BeFreeCBD.com if you're into CBD products already, or if you've been thinking about it. There's a lot of educational information there. It's the letter B, freecbd.com. We've got a special interview with Zicky Dice coming up on Monday. Bailey! What's up, Bailey? You need to call me later. My niece has joined the chat. How about that? So that happens Monday at noon, the brand new podcast. And of course, next Saturday, we'll look back at the Red Carpet Rumble. 30 superstars in one ring. Last man standing leaves as the Heritage Champion. Pro Shingle rocks. Absolutely. Go to proshingle.com or call 901-258-6503. Right now, and for a limited time, they will pay your insurance deductible on a brand new roof up to $1,000. And a big shout out and thanks to those guys for keeping us on the air during this pandemic. And then also shout out to Dave & Buster's. I know that a lot of people were looking forward to watching Money in the Bank at Dave & Buster's with us for our pay-per-view parties and watch parties. As soon as the doors reopen, I promise you I will be the first person inside Dave & Buster's. And the same thing goes for Tops Barbecue and Kooky Canuck. And we want to thank all of our proud partners for the birthday bash. We gave them some love on TV today, so you guys give them some love if you're in the Memphis area. Mr. E says, thank you all here and all involved. Hit the like and stay well, everyone. Yes, take the subscribe button to Slap City. I've been on here an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and... I might go live on Facebook. I might see some of you guys there. But until Monday at noon for our podcast, I am Dustin Starr. Saying so long, everybody. Bailey, give me a call.